Hey everybody, I'm just gonna give a brief introduction to this class. Welcome to Virtual Phenomenal STEM Camp. And I'm gonna basically in this video discuss with you what you should do each day. So in front of you, you'll see a course called Virtual Phenomenal STEM Camp. And when you come online, this is what you should see first. As you see, there are weeks. This is a 4-week STEM camp. Every Sunday, I will give 15 minutes from 4 o'clock, starting at 4 o'clock, meeting with anybody who would like to get more clear understanding of what they need to do for the week. So 4 o'clock, I'll be online between 4 and 4:30, and basically just to briefly discuss with you what the week entails by your choice or your parents' choice. But what you'll see is week 1. So starting next week, you'll be, for instance, learning the scientific method. I divide your learning experience into 4 weeks. The first week is the scientific method. The second week is elements and molecules, which is you're learning chemistry. The third weeks, you're going to be learning microscopy, basically cellular and organismal biology. And then the fourth week, more of systems, learning about ecosystems and solar systems. So you're learning every level of science. You're learning every level of science in this STEM camp. The first week is just teaching you the process of science. So what you'll see is with Google Classroom, it doesn't have it in the order of the day process, but if you look at your calendar, it'll tell you what you're supposed to be doing that day. So always go to your Google Calendar. Once you join this class, it'll be uploaded into your Google Calendar, so you'll automatically know what you're supposed to be doing this day. So the first thing, for instance, is June 4th, just learning how to deal with the process of science. Now, not only is this divided into 4 weeks, you're going to be doing something every day of the week. And I divide it into reading, watching videos, practicing and playing, and lab. So first you have to read, right? So there's basically a textbook online that's free. It's hardcore reading, it's college level reading, but at least it'll help you understand what you need to do. So I'll assign to you something to read, for instance, The Nature of Science or Scientific Inquiry, right? And then you're gonna watch a video. So in this case, June 4th, there's a video to be watched. So you click on that should show up as this. So there are multiple videos discussing the tools of science, but also basically observation versus inference and types of data. So you play that, and you should be able to see videos in regards to that. Okay. And then you play and practice and play. So you're going to see something like Quizlet, some kind of flashcards. And in that situation, you'll see a website called Quizlet, where you practice and then you play. So for instance, if you're studying, there are certain types of vocabulary in science. So you can either do a flashcard, some kind of learning tool, writing and spelling. Okay, so my computer's a little slow, but what you'll see is it should appear shortly. Yep. So you'll see a flashcard here. Identify this to begin the scientific method, always in the form of a question, the question we are trying to answer by doing an experiment. We call that the problem statement. Okay, so if you click that, you should be on the other side, the problem. And you click the flip, right? And you just go to the next one. And when you go to the next one, an educated guess, your guess about what will happen. If something, then something. We call that the hypothesis. All right. And there you click it, and it's like a flashcard. So it's your own flashcard to study. So you study these things. There are only 10 vocabulary words. You learn them. So after you see all the vocabulary words, you memorize the vocabulary words. There are other ways of learning the vocabulary word. I have a lot right now on my computer, so it's a little slow. But so educated guess about what will happen if you just saw that, right? And so which one do you think it is? Hypothesis, conclusion, problem? And we know that's the hypothesis, right? But let's say I pick conclusion. They're going to say study on this one, right? Correct answer. So it's hypothesis. So that's another way you can learn. All right. So you do that. So study, learn, test. All of these are ways to learn the same thing. Write, spell. This is getting you the opportunity to basically type it in. So now you can spell hypothesis. All right. So after doing that, so the steps used to conduct your experiment, that's procedure. So you actually type in the answer, right? So instead of just flashcards or multiple choice, now you have to fill in the blank yourself. It's just different ways of learning the same thing, okay? So these are your, see, procedure, the steps used. I was right, I just didn't want to type it in, right? These are just vocabulary words that you have to learn. Okay, and after you do that, then you can do matching or gravity games. So you want to do all these things: flashcards, learn, write, spell, match, gravity. A gravity game is just basically a fun way to do everything that you just did. So in this case, it's start game. So it's asteroids. I don't know if you ever played the game Asteroids, but you have to type what data is. That's going to take me a long time to type. So you would have typed what it is. Okay, data is the information you learn from an experiment. You type it in and it won't drop all the way to the bottom. All right, so see, information collected during your experiment. If you had typed that in, you wouldn't have lost, or I wouldn't have lost the game. Okay, so that's another thing that you or your child will be learning. So, and that's just one day. That's just one day. The next day is the same kind of experiments. The videos are short, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then you have opportunities to play games and learn. Okay, so you're doing this every day. Take your own time. Make sure it's done that day. Okay, so every day you're going to be doing some kind of reading, some kind of video, some kind of practice and playing. And lastly, the last day of the week it's a lab. I have actually a practice lab for you. Okay, it's called a case study lab. That's for that week. But let's try another week. Let's try elements and molecules. That's the week after. It's the same concept. You're going to be watching some kind of video, you're going to be reading, and you're going to be doing some kind of action. Here, there's a lab that you do. Let's say it's a gummy bear lab. And what I do is I actually have a video that shows your parents what you should expect. Okay, so every time when you look at that, you should get a Word document. And with that Word document, it basically has the instructions in terms of what you should do. It teaches you what you need, materials that you need. Pretty simple. In this case, you would get 3 small glasses of water. Some would be pure water. Some would be a whole bunch of salt. and one glass would be empty. And you put you ask your parents to buy some gummy bears, and you put a gummy bear in each glass and wait till the next day. That's Thursday. So you're doing this 4 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday would always be the lab day. And you leave it in that cup, and the next day on Friday, you're not going to really just do anything. You're just going to see you observe what you got. And you write your hypothesis based on the information you learned previously that day or that week. And you record your results and you draw a graph, and then you answer some questions. And I would really like for you to do that and then upload it for me to see if you're correct. And then the following Sunday, I'll let you know. All right, guys. So I hope this was informative. I really want you to be able to do well in this STEM camp. By the end of this 4 weeks, this month, you will have known from the lowest level of science all the way to the highest level of science through all kinds of activities, readings, games, videos, and practice labs. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.